There are 7 slot machines operating on casino floors right now with RTP, return to player, percentages so high that management actively discourages employees from mentioning them to customers. These machines pay back 97% to 99% of money wagered, making them the closest thing to fair gambling you'll find in any casino. I spent 16 years as a casino floor supervisor and slot operations coordinator at properties in Las Vegas, Atlantic City, and regional casinos across 4 states. My responsibilities included analyzing daily performance reports, monitoring hold percentage data against revenue targets, coordinating with manufacturers on game configurations, and attending management meetings where we specifically identified which machines generated insufficient profit and needed strategic handling to minimize player discovery. During those 16 years, I identified 7 specific slot machine titles that consistently operated at the highest RTP percentages available, 96.8% to 99%, while remaining accessible on most casino floors. These machines share common characteristics. They're manufactured by companies prioritizing player value over aggressive monetization. They lack expensive licensed themes inflating costs. And they employ straightforward mathematics without deceptive bonus structures designed to disguise poor returns. You've suspected certain machines offer genuinely superior odds, that casinos deliberately avoid promoting their highest RTP games because they generate minimal profit, that somewhere on every floor are machines offering near break-even mathematics that management hopes casual players never discover. You're absolutely right. And I'm about to expose the 7 high RTP slots nobody talks about. Before I reveal these 7 machines, I need 3 things immediately. First, hit that like button right now. Second, subscribe and activate notifications because this is operational insider knowledge casinos absolutely do not want reaching widespread player awareness. Third, comment below. Have you ever played machines with RTP above 97%? Did you notice they felt different from typical slots? These 7 machines represent the absolute peak of available slot mathematics. Management maintains them for regulatory compliance and to satisfy knowledgeable players who'd simply take their business to competitors if these options disappeared. But they'll never advertise them, never promote them, and never make them easy to find. Let me start with the machine that offers the single highest RTP you can find on any casino floor. A staggering 99%. Machine number 1. Mega Joker Super Meter Mode by NetEnt. The 99% RTP classic that some casinos removed entirely because players consistently broke even. Mega Joker looks like an old-school fruit machine. Simple graphics, classic symbols, retro sound effects. But don't let the appearance deceive you. When you activate Super Meter Mode on this machine, you're playing at 99% RTP, making it the single best slot machine available in virtually any casino. Here's how it works. Mega Joker has 2 modes. Base mode operates at standard RTP around 89%, but when you accumulate coins in base mode, you can activate Super Meter Mode. In Super Meter Mode, the RTP jumps to 19% with maximum volatility. This means you're either going to lose quickly or win substantially. There's minimal middle ground. Why is this the best machine? If you're gambling anyway, you should gamble on a machine where odds approach 50-50 as closely as legally possible. Super Meter Mode doesn't have complicated rules or confusing bonus structures. It's pure, transparent gambling with honest mathematics. You bet, you spin, you either win or don't. And because the RTP is 99%, you're receiving almost all your money back over time in the form of wins. Obviously, you can still lose short-term. Variance exists. But mathematically, this is as favorable as it gets in a casino outside of perfect strategy blackjack or poker. Let me tell you about what happened at multiple properties. Former operations staff revealed that some casinos eventually removed Mega Joker machines entirely. Not because they were losing money overall, they still maintained 1% edge, but because word spread about the quality. Groups of 10 or more regular players would exclusively play Mega Joker, consistently breaking even or winning slightly over months. The casino was generating almost nothing from these players. According to insider accounts, machines were quietly removed overnight and replaced with new games featuring RTPs of 88% to 92%. Regular players were furious, but legally there was nothing they could do. Casinos have full discretion over which machines to offer. One property manager told me directly, "We can't make money when our best customers camp on 99% RTP machines for 8 hours daily. We need them on 88% machines, or we can't operate." That brutally honest admission reveals exactly how casinos think about high RTP games. Machine number 2, Aah Dracula by NetEnt. The 99% RTP machine with player choice free spins that training materials warned against recommending. Aah Dracula is another NetEnt title with extraordinary RTP. This game operates at 99% RTP and features something genuinely unique: player choice in free spin structure. When you trigger the free spins feature, the game lets you choose between 2 different free spin modes. One mode awards more spins with lower multipliers. The other awards fewer spins with higher multipliers. Here's the remarkable part. Both options maintain the same 99% RTP, so you're not being tricked into selecting inferior options. You simply choose the volatility you prefer. If you want steady, smaller wins, select the first option. If you want to gamble for substantial hits, select the second. Either way, you're playing at 99% RTP. That's extraordinarily fair for slot machines. Former training staff disclosed that new casino employees received explicit warnings against recommending Aah Dracula to casual players. Not because it was problematic, but because the casino generated significantly less profit from it. Management preferred customers playing licensed games with 85% to 88% RTP. Those games featured movie themes and recognizable characters, so players naturally gravitated toward them despite terrible mathematics. According to insider testimony, employees caught actively directing players toward high RTP machines would receive disciplinary warnings from supervisors. Casinos wanted high RTP machines available for legal compliance and to satisfy knowledgeable players, but they absolutely didn't want to promote them. I witnessed this policy enforcement firsthand. A floor attendant, I'll call him James, would casually mention to players that Aah Dracula pays really well when they asked for machine recommendations. After approximately 2 weeks of this behavior, James received written warning from management stating he should recommend a variety of games rather than consistently directing players toward the same high RTP title. James understood the message clearly. Stop helping players find our most generous machines. He complied, but he told me privately, "I felt terrible knowing I should recommend games where players would lose faster. It felt ethically wrong." That tension between employee ethics and casino profit maximization is constant in this industry. Machine number 3, Devil's Delight by NetEnt. The 97.6% RTP machine with guaranteed minimum bonus payouts that 6 players used to win $90,000. Devil's Delight features hell themes with fire, demons, and rock music. Despite aggressive aesthetics, the gameplay is remarkably player-friendly with 97.6% RTP. What makes Devil's Delight exceptional is the Soul Reaper bonus round. When you trigger it, you select souls revealing prizes. But here's the critical design element. The bonus round is structured to almost always award at least 10 times your bet. Most slot bonuses can award essentially nothing. You'll trigger features and win $2 on $5 bets. It feels devastating. Devil's Delight doesn't employ that deceptive structure. The bonus is designed to feel rewarding even at the minimum payout level. And because bonuses trigger fairly regularly, you're receiving dopamine reinforcement, maintaining engagement, while also sustaining your bankroll because the RTP is so high. According to technical documentation from manufacturers, NetEnt designs their high RTP games with psychological principles deliberately considered. They understand players need to feel like they're winning, even if slowly losing over extended time. So they structure games to deliver frequent small wins and occasional medium wins with rare substantial wins. But because the RTP is genuinely high, not just psychologically manipulated, players actually do walk away winners sometimes. According to programming specifications, Devil's Delight was explicitly designed to feel generous, and the 97.6% RTP mathematically supports that perception. Now here's where this connects to a larger pattern. A group of 6 players discovered something about combining multiple high RTP machines in systematic rotation. They'd build bankroll on one machine, cash out, move to another, and repeat. The timing was critical, and it worked so effectively that one casino in Reno completely rearranged their entire slot floor, attempting to disrupt the pattern. Over 6 months, this group collectively won over $90,000 by rotating between Devil's Delight, Jokerizer, which we're discussing next, and 2 other machines. The casino eventually implemented a controversial new policy. If you won more than certain amounts on high RTP machines, you'd be required to play at least 30 minutes on different machines before returning to high RTP ones. They called it promoting game variety. Players called it exactly what it was: forcing winners onto losing machines. The group threatened legal action, claiming discriminatory policies. The casino backed down but relocated all high RTP machines to the absolute worst locations possible, some literally facing walls in dead-end hallways. Machine number 4, Jokerizer by Yggdrasil. The 98% RTP machine with player-controlled mode activation that one player turned $40 into $400. Jokerizer has retro arcade aesthetics with neon colors and 1980s soundtrack. The game operates at 98% RTP in Jokerizer mode, positioning it among the most favorable slots available. Here's how Jokerizer works. You play in base mode, where you can accumulate coins. Then you decide when to activate Jokerizer mode, where you play with accumulated coins at higher RTP. In Jokerizer mode, you access special wild symbols generating bigger wins. What makes this machine particularly appealing? The control it provides. You're not waiting for random bonus triggers. If you hit decent wins in base mode, you can immediately switch to Jokerizer mode, attempting to multiply them. And because the RTP in Jokerizer mode is 98%, you're playing with substantially better odds than almost any other machine in the casino. Former dealers who transitioned to slot positions shared insights about recommendations. When asked about favorable machines, they could quietly suggest Jokerizer. According to these sources, casinos didn't particularly care about such recommendations because most players didn't understand how to use Jokerizer mode properly. They'd activate it randomly without strategy. But players who understood the optimal approach, building bankroll in base mode until hitting substantial wins, then immediately switching to Jokerizer mode with larger bets, documented significantly better outcomes. One case involved a player turning $40 into $400 by systematically grinding base mode until accumulating favorable position, then switching to Jokerizer mode and pressing advantage. The strategy succeeded consistently because it exploited the mode's 98% RTP at precisely optimal moments. There's a timing element to Jokerizer that most players miss. The 6-player group I mentioned earlier understood this timing perfectly. They'd play base mode conservatively, accumulate strong positions, switch to Jokerizer mode briefly for aggressive play, then cash out and rotate to the next machine in their sequence. This rotation strategy prevented casino analytics from flagging any single player as problematic, while the collective group systematically extracted value from the highest RTP machines available. The casino eventually identified the pattern through cross-referencing player card data and cash-out timestamps across multiple machines. But by the time they understood what was happening, the group had already won $90,000. The controversial policy I mentioned was their desperate response. Machine number 5, Kings of Chicago by NetEnt. The 97.8% RTP poker slot hybrid, where skill actually improves your odds. Kings of Chicago is unique because it combines slots with poker elements. Instead of spinning reels with symbols, you're dealt poker hands attempting to form winning combinations. What makes Kings of Chicago extraordinary? There's genuine skill involved. You can choose which cards to hold and which to discard, exactly like video poker. But unlike video poker, you're playing on a grid where multiple poker hands can form simultaneously. So if you understand basic poker strategy, you can actually improve your odds beyond the base 97.8% RTP. Casinos don't advertise this machine extensively because it requires players to think. Most slot players don't want cognitive engagement. They want to zone out and press buttons. But if you're willing to learn basic strategy for optimal card holds, Kings of Chicago becomes one of the absolute best machines in the casino. Former pit bosses revealed incidents of professional poker players treating Kings of Chicago like tournament play. These players would calculate odds mentally, execute optimal hold decisions, and systematically grind out wins. According to insider accounts, one weekend session resulted in a poker player walking out ahead $3,000. Casino management questioned why such machines remained operational, but legal compliance required offering game variety. Following such incidents, reports indicate machines were relocated to the most undesirable floor positions near loading docks and service areas where foot traffic was minimal. The casino's strategy was transparent: maintain the machines for regulatory compliance and knowledgeable players who'd complain about removal, but make them so inconvenient to access that casual players would never accidentally discover them. Machine number 6, Immortal Romance by Microgaming. The 96.86% RTP machine with progressive unlocking system that one former game developer exploited for $28,000. Immortal Romance features vampire themes with gothic romance storyline involving 4 main characters. The game operates at 96.86% RTP, which is strong but not extraordinary. What makes it remarkable is the multiple bonus features that unlock progressively as you play, incredibly rare for slots. Here's the unlock progression. The first time you trigger free spins, you access Amber's bonus with 10 free spins and 5x multiplier. After triggering bonuses 5 times total, you unlock Troy's bonus. After 10 triggers, you unlock Michael's bonus. After 15 triggers, you unlock Sarah's bonus, where real money concentrates. Sarah's bonus awards 25 free spins. During those spins, the Wild Vine feature can randomly transform up to 5 entire reels wild. When that happens, you're looking at massive payouts. But here's the critical insight. Most casual players never reach Sarah's bonus because they don't play long enough to trigger free spins 15 times. Players who understand this progression system camp on Immortal Romance specifically to unlock all 4 levels. And because the RTP is 96.86%, their bankrolls stay viable long enough to reach higher value bonuses. Once you're consistently triggering Sarah's bonus, you're playing at even higher effective RTP because the feature is so lucrative. Former surveillance staff shared observations about Immortal Romance players. Cameras tracked certain players occupying machines for entire shifts. These players understood the unlock system and were systematically grinding toward premium bonuses. Security teams created profiles of regular Immortal Romance players because their playing patterns were so methodical. Here's where it gets fascinating. One player was actually a former game developer who understood slot mathematics intimately. He calculated that if you could reach Sarah's bonus level and keep triggering it, the effective RTP jumped to nearly 98% because of the Wild Vine feature. According to leaked internal reports, over 6 months he systematically played Immortal Romance during off-peak hours and walked away with over $28,000 in profit. The casino knew. They tracked every session, but they couldn't intervene because he wasn't cheating. He was simply playing optimally on a machine with progression system rewarding extended play. Eventually, something had to give. The casino offered him $15,000 as a consultant to explain his strategy. In exchange, he'd agree to play other machines when visiting. He accepted. Former employees report the casino then used his strategy breakdown in training materials, teaching floor managers how to spot advantage players using similar systems. They couldn't stop him legally, so they paid him to teach them how to identify others like him. Machine number 7. Bloodsuckers by NetEnt. The 98% RTP vampire-themed machine with bonus game that skilled players can optimize. Bloodsuckers is another NetEnt vampire title, and it operates at 98% RTP, among the highest available on any casino floor. The game features traditional slot mechanics with vampire themes, but what distinguishes it is the bonus game structure. When you trigger the bonus, you're presented with coffins. You select coffins revealing either coin wins or stakes. Finding 3 stakes ends the bonus. Here's what knowledgeable players discovered. While the bonus appears purely random, there are optimal selection patterns that maximize expected value. According to players who've documented thousands of bonus rounds, certain selection sequences statistically outperform random selection. While I can't confirm the underlying mathematics support this, NetEnt has never released detailed specifications. Anecdotal evidence from advantage players suggests systematic selection strategies produce superior results. What's not debatable? Bloodsuckers' 98% base RTP makes it one of the most favorable machines available, and the bonus game triggers frequently enough to maintain engagement while the high RTP extends playing time dramatically. Former employees noted that bloodsuckers consistently appeared in our lowest profitability reports. The machine generated steady play from knowledgeable players who understood the RTP, but casino margins were minimal. Management tolerated it because removing it would alienate informed players who'd simply take their business to competitors offering the title. One regular player, I'll call her Diana, played bloodsuckers almost exclusively for over a year. According to player tracking data, Diana's net losses over 12 months totaled under $600, despite playing 2 to 3 times weekly. For someone playing that frequently, that's extraordinary loss rate, indicating she was extracting maximum value from the 98% RTP. Diana understood that consistent play on highest RTP available machines, combined with disciplined bankroll management and smart exit strategies, could minimize losses to near break-even levels over extended periods. She wasn't trying to get rich. She was treating gambling as entertainment with minimal cost, and she succeeded by targeting the best available mathematics. Now, let me explain why these 7 machines specifically and what strategies maximize their value. Common characteristics shared by all 7. Extraordinary RTP programming. All 7 operate at 96.86% to 99% RTP, substantially superior to typical casino averages of 88% to 92%. That 7% to 11% difference is enormous over extended play. NetEnt and Yggdrasil dominance. 6 of 7 machines are NetEnt products, with 1 Yggdrasil title. These manufacturers prioritize player value over aggressive monetization, understanding that reputation for fairness generates long-term loyalty. Minimal deceptive features. None employ complex bonus structures designed to obscure poor mathematics. Features are straightforward, transparent, and genuinely rewarding when triggered. Casino reluctance to promote. Management actively discourages employees from recommending these machines and positions them in undesirable locations to minimize discovery. Your exploitation strategy. Strategy 1. Seek these 7 machines exclusively when available. When you enter a casino, don't waste time on licensed games with 85% to 88% RTP. Don't chase progressive jackpots where money drains from base game. Systematically locate these 7 high RTP machines and play them exclusively. They're often positioned in terrible locations, facing walls, near service areas, in dead-end hallways. That's intentional. Casinos hope inconvenient placement discourages play. Your willingness to seek them out is your advantage. Strategy 2. Learn optimal strategies for skill-based games. For Kings of Chicago, learn basic poker strategy for optimal card holds. For Bloodsuckers, research documented selection patterns for the bonus game. For Jokerizer, understand timing for mode activation. Small skill edges compound dramatically on already high RTP. Strategy 3. For progressive unlocking games like Immortal Romance, commit to extended sessions. Don't play Immortal Romance casually for 30 minutes. If you're going to play it, commit to unlocking Sarah's bonus, the 15th trigger. This requires discipline and sufficient bankroll, but once you're consistently accessing Sarah's bonus, your effective RTP increases substantially. Strategy 4. Apply the 1% bankroll rule even on favorable machines. Never wager more than 1% of total bankroll per spin. If you have $500, maximum bet is $5. Even at 98% to 99% RTP, variance exists and insufficient bankroll management will destroy you. Set predetermined limits. Loss limit. Maximum you'll lose before leaving. Typically 30% to 40% of total bankroll. Win limit. Predetermined profit target, triggering serious evaluation about continuing. Typically 40% to 50% of starting bankroll. Time limit. Maximum session duration, regardless of financial position. Typically 2 to 3 hours maximum for high RTP play. Enforce these limits without exception. Strategy 5. Practice the rotation strategy the 6-player group used. Don't camp on one machine for 8 hours. Play one high RTP machine for 60 to 90 minutes. Cash out, take a break, then rotate to a different high RTP machine. This prevents casino analytics from flagging you as advantage player while you systematically extract value from multiple favorable games. Strategy 6. Never discuss your strategies openly on the casino floor. The 6-player group's mistake was becoming too obvious. They'd gather near high RTP machines, discuss strategies within camera microphone range, and create patterns that analytics eventually identified. If you're systematically playing high RTP machines, do it quietly and individually. Don't attract attention. Let me tell you about a player who exemplified perfect execution versus one who failed through lack of discipline. The first player, I'll call him Gregory, understood everything about high RTP machines. He'd research, identify optimal games, travel to multiple casinos seeking them out. Gregory would play Mega Joker Super Meter mode exclusively, betting conservatively, enforcing strict time limits. Over 18 months, Gregory's documented losses totaled under $800, despite playing 2 to 3 times weekly. That's approximately $44 monthly for consistent entertainment. Gregory achieved this through knowledge plus discipline. The second player, I'll call him Marcus, also understood high RTP mathematics. Marcus would locate Aah Dracula, play intelligently, and frequently reach profit positions. But Marcus lacked exit discipline. One evening, Marcus was ahead $700 on Aah Dracula after 90 minutes of play. He should have cashed out and left. Instead, he thought, just a few more spins. 2 hours later, Marcus had lost his entire $700 profit, plus an additional $400. He left down 400 despite having been ahead 700. Marcus's problem wasn't knowledge. He understood RTP perfectly. His problem was lack of discipline. On machines with 99% RTP, you'll frequently reach profitable positions. The challenge isn't getting ahead, it's leaving when you are ahead. Let's summarize the 7 high RTP slots nobody talks about. Mega Joker, Super Meter Mode, 99% RTP. The single highest available slot, RTP. Some casinos removed it entirely because regular players consistently broke even. Pure, transparent mathematics. Aah Dracula. 99% RTP with player choice free spins. Training materials warned employees against recommending it because casinos make minimal profit. Both free spin options maintain same RTP. Devil's Delight, 97.6% RTP with guaranteed minimum bonus payouts. 6-player group won $90,000 over 6 months, rotating between this and other high RTP machines. Jokerizer, 98% RTP in player-controlled Jokerizer mode. Player turned $40 into $400 through optimal timing of mode activation and bet sizing. Kings of Chicago, 97. 8% RTP poker slot hybrid, where skill improves odds. Professional poker player won $3,000 in single weekend session. Relocated to loading dock areas after incident. Immortal Romance, 96.86% RTP, with progressive unlocking, reaching nearly 98% effective RTP at Sarah's bonus level. Former game developer won $28,000 over 6 months through systematic play. Casino paid him $15,000 as consultant to learn his strategy. Bloodsuckers, 98% RTP vampire-themed machine with bonus game optimization. Regular player lost under $600 over 12 months despite twice weekly play. Universal truth about these 7 machines. They represent the absolute peak of available slot mathematics. Casinos maintain them reluctantly for regulatory compliance and to satisfy knowledgeable players, but they'll never promote them, never make them easy to find, and actively discourage employees from recommending them. Your advantage: knowledge, persistence, and discipline. Know these 7 machines exist. Seek them out despite inconvenient placement. Play them exclusively. Enforce strict limits. Even at 97% to 99% RTP, the house maintains mathematical edge. But these 7 machines offer the closest approximation to fair gambling available in any casino. If you found this valuable, I need 3 actions immediately. First, subscribe and hit notifications. I'm continuing to expose casino industry secrets, high RTP machine identification, and advantage play strategies based on operational insider knowledge. Second, share this video with anyone who gambles. Understanding which 7 machines offer highest RTP could save them thousands of dollars annually. Third, watch this video here where I reveal which casino games offer even better odds than these slots, including specific blackjack and video poker variations with positive expected value when played with perfect strategy. Before closing, the mandatory legal disclaimer. If you or someone you know struggles with gambling addiction, seek professional help immediately. Contact the National Council on Problem Gambling at 1-800-522-4700. Available 24 hours daily. This video is educational. I'm revealing RTP specifications and documented cases, not guaranteeing outcomes or encouraging gambling. Even 99% RTP means the house maintains 1% edge. Variance exists, and you can lose substantially short-term. Only gamble with money you can afford to lose completely. Set limits before playing. Enforce limits without exception. Never chase losses. Never play with borrowed money or funds needed for essential expenses. But if you're going to play slots, understanding which 7 machines offer highest available RTP reveals exactly where your best mathematical opportunities exist. These machines offer extraordinary RTP programming, 96.86% to 99% versus typical 88% to 92%. Transparent mechanics without deceptive features. Proven manufacturer reputations for player fairness. Skill elements, in some cases, allowing optimization beyond base RTP. Finding and playing these 7 machines exclusively, combined with optimal strategies for skill-based games, strict bankroll management, and absolute exit discipline, gives you best possible results available in slot gambling. Knowledge is your foundation. Persistence is your strategy. Discipline is your survival. Seek these 7 machines systematically, despite inconvenient placement. Play them with proper bankroll management and skill optimization. Enforce your limits without exception. And remember, when casinos actively discourage employees from recommending specific machines and hide them in terrible locations, that's your signal those machines offer genuine mathematical value. Use that knowledge wisely. Until next time, stay informed and stay disciplined.